I'm here in a minute.
Just take your time, Tanja. All the time that you need is fine.
Okay. The universe has such a beautiful way to humble us sometimes. Okay.
So let's just cry together.
Okay. Wow, this was unexpected. I cried for the last 30 minutes and I thought I have it back together now, but then I pressed play and it just came back. So thank you all for being here for our closing ceremony. And the topic is embody your feminine power. And I think I got so humbled because for me, true feminine power comes from the heart. And I've been holding it together so much the last few days. It's a lot to hold 300 women in a space. And for me, it really means to be vulnerable and to show up the way we are. And it's much easier for me in person, but to show up like this in an online session is still very humbling for me. But I would love to know, before we get started, what does feminine power mean to you from the heart? What comes up when you feel into the word feminine power? What comes up in your heart? Pure feminine powers, be vulnerable. You're so beautiful. Thank you, Andrea. To feel the entire spectrum of emotions, yes. Vulnerable, sensitive, open heart, yes. To really feel, showing your emotions and owning it. Thank you for sharing that and being soft, yes. And when I tune into feminine power and what my journey has also humbled me into, it's not only showing up vulnerable and authentic and leading from the heart, even if it means to to cry in front of all of you. And I've done this, it's not the first time this is happening. Like, it's not that it's just, this is what's present right now. And this is what I cannot control, what's really true to my heart. But it's much more than this. For me, it's also true feminine power and to lead your life and what you came here to do in a new way that most of us didn't see when we were growing up. That's what's coming through for me, to truly be seen and to truly allow everyone to feel you and to see you and to not try to hold it all together and to do it all alone. And trust me, I've been there. I've tried to do it all alone, and especially if you have natural healing abilities or you're a space holder, you have a big heart. It requires a lot to show up and to really be able to be seen and to be held, especially if this wasn't safe in the past. If you grew up in a family where you weren't held, where you weren't seen, where you weren't heard. And I want to share a little story that came up when I was on my knees here crying just before we get started. Because I'm so passionate about leading women to their feminine power. And it really comes from my heart and my soul. It's a big mission that I'm leading here to guide you all home to your truth, because we all have this radiant, powerful heart, and we've been so conditioned and traumatized to keep it shut, to only step one foot out, never both feet out, but because just in case we could get hurt, we could fail, whatever it is. We take these stories into our lives and we never really allow all of us to be seen. And when I grew up, my biggest challenge was to really ask for help. And maybe this resonates with you. I never really allowed myself to be fully seen, to be held, because I was the one holding all the time. Even as a child, I was holding everyone. I was making sure everyone was happy, because there were so many unspoken dynamics and I wanted to make everyone happy. And then I took that into my business. And this year I worked a lot, even with Andrea. We had a beautiful session this year, a family constellation, where I saw myself standing in the middle and I didn't want to be there. And I stepped out, and that's when, I don't know if you remember, I saw my left wing growing and then my right wing. And I felt the masculine could only rise through my healthy feminine, because I was carrying these wounded feminine patterns still, even though from my mind I thought I already healed them, but I still carried these patterns of not being able to ask for help if I needed. And I did my business until a few months ago completely on my own. And when that shifted, my outside reality aligned to that. And I have a team now of 4 beautiful women supporting me. And if you're here or watching the replay, I'm so grateful for you, because this could have not been possible without you. And I really allow myself to be supported, which didn't feel safe in the past. And when I grew up, my mom, I share a little story around my family so you understand where this is coming from. My mom was 18 when she got pregnant with my dad, and they knew each other for 3 months. So everybody around them was against us. Even my grandparents said, get an abortion and then we celebrate a party. And they just knew they were meant for each other. They are still, up to this point, they're still so in love. They ride hearts into snow and they travel around in the caravan and they have a really beautiful, committed relationship. They are still truly, deeply in love, and nobody else believed in them. But I always felt like they're a team and it's only them and we are very far away. There's no space for us. And because they were so young, they still wanted their life, and there was never really much space for us to feel warm and to feel appreciated. Even in the womb, when I went back in my healing journey into the womb space and into my first months of life where my biggest trauma lies, I could feel that I'm not wanted in this world, that I'm not appreciated, that I'm almost a burden for them, even though it's not the truth, but that's how I felt, and it's deeply imprinted in my system. And I carried this in my adulthood. It was so hard for me to ask for help, to really be seen, to show all of me, because it wasn't safe in the past. So every time I would ask, sorry, I have to blow my nose. Every time I would ask my mom for help, she would react annoyed. And this is not because she didn't want to help me, but because she had her own trauma and her own baggage, and she was overwhelmed in the role of being a mom. I'm not even sure if she really wanted to be a mom. And every time I asked for something, the reaction was like, oh, can you not do this on your own? So in order to not feel like a burden, I learned to not ask for help. And from a very young age, everyone said, wow, you're so mature for your age. You're so independent. I would wash my clothes in primary school. I didn't have anyone to wake me up to make me lunch for school. I was very independent doing that myself, because there was nobody doing it for me. Or if they did it, I felt like I have to give something back, or it's like too much. I'm a burden. And I avoided that feeling of being a burden for everything in my life. I just didn't want to feel that way. And that's why I learned to be an independent woman, and I learned to do everything on my own, and I learned to hold myself along the way. But I also learned that it's hard to be the lonely wolf. And when I went to Sri Lanka, I think it was 3 years ago, I was still a school teacher, and I just knew I had to to leave. I was burned out. The government was holding me very tight, and my soul was like, you have to leave right now. So I went to Sri Lanka and I stayed for a few weeks teaching yoga and meditation there in a beautiful shala. And when I came back, I had all these doctor invoices coming in, but they went to my parents' house because I was supplementing my flat. So my parents had all the invoices of my doctors, and I needed to send them to my insurance. So all that was something I couldn't do. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't do it myself. So I asked her, could you please send me the invoices? That's all I asked for. And she said, it's stressful. Maybe we do it on holidays. And then she had holidays. And 1 week into the holidays, I called her and I said, can you please send me the invoices? And she said, if you want something, you have to do it. You have to do something for it too. And she said she's not going to do it. If I want it, I have to drive all the way to her and get the letters, the invoices. And in that moment, this deep, deep wound of being a burden and of this really feeling unlovable and not appreciated in this world was so deep, it felt like a steel knife in my heart. And this was such a metaphorical story, what happened after that for my whole life. And I was like speechless. I said, wow, okay. And I hang up and I cried. I sobbed my eyes out. And 1 minute later, my dad called. And he said, what's your address? I'm going to send you the letters. But he did it behind my mom's back. So he never stood up for me. And that I also took into my adult years. So I took all these patterns that I had no idea into my adult life. And I attracted men that never stood up for me. And I attracted women and men that made me feel like a burden, where my presence wasn't appreciated. And last year, I went really, really deep into this wound. And I felt this little baby girl. And I embraced her instead of shutting her down and avoiding this pain at all costs. It was showing up my whole life. Even when I left Germany to come here, I knew I didn't know when I was going to come back. And I asked my parents, all I asked them to do is to get 2 wine boxes. My whole life, I sewed everything, but I had 2 wine boxes with text folders and a pair of shoes and a blanket just in case I come back. And I asked them to store it for me, to pick it up and to store it and to say goodbye. And then my flight, 2 weeks before my flight, got pre-scheduled 4 days. I just got an email, you're flying 4 days early now, or you can cancel. And I was like, what? What's happening? Okay. So I asked my mom, can you please come 4 days earlier to pick up these boxes? And I thought I already healed that wound. And she's like, oh, I don't know, because we're on holiday with the caravan and I'm not sure if we can shorten that trip, you know. And in my heart, I was like, how can my own parents not come back 4 days of the holidays to see their daughter, maybe for the rest of a few years, the last time? And it took me back into the wound. And every time, even when a man left me on red, or everything went well and then he just ghosted, I had a period where this showed up a lot. Every time this wound got triggered, but still it felt too much to really go there. And last year I really went there and I understood why I didn't feel safe to go there before, because it's a lot to feel that pain that was unbearable in the past, to really feel like this deep, deep emotion that's so deeply imprinted in our bodies. And these wounds can different, like maybe you have a different wound, but I just want to share the story why it was so difficult for me to ask for help, because I didn't want that reaction. I didn't want to feel like that. So I tried to do everything on my own until I burned out twice, until I ended up in an emotional abusive relationship. And now I can really say I still see these patterns, but my body doesn't react that way anymore. I don't feel this wound, this aching in my heart anymore when someone leaves, because I know I always got me. And I learned along these last few months, and especially when I went to Mexico for my ayahuasca retreat, from the beginning I left Morea, it felt like I'm being held and supported. Angels showed up everywhere. They were guiding me the way. I didn't need to do anything. It felt like I'm carried always to the right places. I met the right people. And I also learned to be fully seen, not only in sister circuits where it's safe, but also with people on the same frequency. I attracted people that could really hold me and see me in my truth, and I felt safe enough to show that. And I was sobbing on a kirtan one night on a rooftop. We just met each other for the first time, but it felt like my soul family. I felt like for the first time I really feel like what it means to have a community that really gets me. Because here in French Polynesia we don't really have a spiritual community, and suddenly in Mexico all these souls popped out of nowhere, and I feel it was more souls than I ever met in my entire life that I really deeply resonated with. And I broke down. I was like, I didn't really even know how much I was lacking to be held and to be seen and to be vulnerable. And this woman that I just met like 10 minutes before, she was holding me, and the other woman came and embraced me, and it was so powerful. And that's what feminine power means to me too, especially if you're a space holder, if you're holding a lot of space for your family, for your clients, whatever it is. Most of us, even before we take this path as a healer, as a job, before we do this as our business, we hold so much. We even hold space for strangers on the street. And it's so essential for us to have the space too, to be held and to be seen. And this is where my new offer got born. I was like, this is exactly what I want every woman to experience, to be fully seen with everything that comes up, with exactly how you feel in the moment, with who you are in the moment, that you have a space where you can come with all of that and bring that. Because this path, if you really choose your path as a healer, as a mentor, as an artist, whatever it is that you came here, it can be a lonely path if no one gets you, if no one around you walks this path. It can be really challenging and humbling and painful to walk this path alone. And my intention is that you find your tribe. Doesn't mean that you have to join my program, but I really desire for you to have a space where you can be seen and fully be held, especially if you're holding so much. And it's the same with giving and receiving. We are giving so much. Can you also allow the love in that's already there? I couldn't see that the love and the beauty at some stages in my life because my heart was so blocked. And that's the beauty of opening the heart. Yes, you're vulnerable. Yes, you can be hurt, but you also experience the full spectrum of your aliveness. And I think I'm going to share a little bit about my ayahuasca journey. I didn't feel ready to this point because it was really intense, and I'm still integrating. I've done ayahuasca before, and it was a beautiful journey. I have a podcast episode about it. So I thought I know this medicine, and I even thought I'm gonna guide these sessions soon. Like I was like, I know you, ayahuasca. I'm not afraid of you. Like I will have a beautiful journey again. And then she taught me that I don't know anything. When I drank her, for the first 45 minutes, I didn't feel anything because it takes the time to kick in. And then I lost all of control. And I think this was what I needed to experience. I went out into space, into different dimensions, into different galaxies. And that's where the meditation from the opening ceremony was inspired by my journey that I experienced in my ayahuasca ceremony. And I went out into space, really far out. It was not even our universe. It was a different galaxy, different aliens, different colors, different shapes. And then I completely lost sense of my physical body, of my thoughts, of my emotions. I just became a soul in earth. And then I became like a membrane, a luminescent liquid in space. That's all I was. I couldn't even think about something. There was no room for thought. I just was this liquid in universe, and I was holding the wisdom of everything. I understood everything, the whole universe. It was like I was the wisdom of the universe, and I was floating for hours, but it was not a beautiful feeling. It was like, holy shit, this experience on earth, being a human on earth, is such a privilege, and I took it for granted. I was like, I fucked up now, and she's showing me that I wasn't, I wasn't humble enough, that now I took it too far and I will never make it back. I was so far out that I thought I will never in my life come back into my body. And I've given away the biggest gift that we can receive ever. And I saw all these souls next to me, different species, different light beings, and they were all like, what, you were on Earth? And I was like, yeah. They were like, you were feeling and seeing, and you had senses, and you could have emotions, and you could laugh and cry, and you had all the things. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, so why are you here? And I was like, I don't know. I'm on a journey right now, and I think I took it too far. And they were like, we are waiting to come to Earth. It's the only planet. It's a dense planet, we agree. Like, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering, but there's also so much beauty. And all of it, we sign up for all of it. When we sign up to come on Earth, like Tanja said yesterday, we know we come here for all. And then we come here and we feel the pain and we don't want to feel the pain. So we shut down and we just want to chase happiness. And this is never going to lead you to happiness. If we shut ourselves from the human experience that implements holding the duality of life with everything that comes that way, we are only half living. And one day we will wake up and think, shit, what does my heart wanted something completely different than what I chose in this lifetime. And after hours of being in that state and really thinking I've lost my human experience, I was begging her. I was like, please send me back. I just want my human life back. And then after hours, she spit me out in front of the earth, and I saw the earth, like I showed you in the meditation of the opening ceremony. And I saw myself as a soul circling around the earth and stopping in front of the earth. And I saw my life flashing in front of me. Why I felt always like an alien. I always felt like I don't belong to Germany. I never belonged to my family. I don't belong to anything. I never felt really hope. And then I saw why, because I needed these experiences to lead a new way of living, a way that I was longing to see, a way where we can show up like this and it's beautiful and it's okay. And I saw my life, I understood why I had to go through this. And then I realized, I looked left and right, and I saw all these beautiful women next to me. Some of them I knew, some of them I didn't. But we were shoulder to shoulder coming for this mission. And I think that was the most life-changing part about this. Because I tried to do everything on my own. And I saw we can't do this alone. We need each other. We need each other so much. And then it felt almost like we're lifting a blanket of light from the bottom of the earth up. And we did it together. And it felt like a freaking war. It felt like the most challenging thing in the universe, because we are here to bring the light back to the earth from pure intentions. And we cannot allow our trauma and our story to lead. Because if I would have allowed my story of not feeling appreciated and feeling like a burden and not asking for help, if I would have allowed that to ripple into my business, I could not be here right now and show up like this. But I devoted. When she spit me out of in front of the earth, I was like, I give all of me to this mission. I give all of me to become the woman I'm here to be for this mission. And she's like, are you really ready? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And then when we lifted this blanket, I could feel the forces of the false power, our paradigm, all the control and abuse. I could feel how they don't want us to rise. They don't want the light back, because the system is built on the abuse, on the control, and it's crumbling right now. And you hear everyone talking about a new earth, and this is what it means. We lead the way into a new way of living and relating. We go first. So we show by being an embodiment of what's possible. And your story is part of that. But it takes sometimes a space where you can see your blind spots, where you're not fully embracing your purpose right now, where you're not fully stepping into your fullness. And for me, it was this thick layer of doubt and self-sabotage and playing small. And even though I was already, doing a lot of work, I still didn't see my power. I didn't feel my power. I was doubting it. I was like, I'm here for everyone and I just want to help people, but I'm lacking clarity. And then I saw what was already there, but I couldn't see it because of this thick layer. The women coming into my field since a few months already, my last program, they were all women having a big mission, having this fire inside that they know they're here for more and they want to bring it into the world with pure intentions from a pure heart, even if they don't see anyone around them doing that. And they were already coming into my feed and I couldn't see it. I still thought I'm here for everyone. And then I saw it like, okay, I'm only here for the ones that are really devoted to use their gifts in this lifetime to make this world a better place, to not let the ego lead and the number seeking lead their business and their life, but to devote their lives, their mission to something that is higher than themselves, to allow their divine purpose to lead the way and to fully step into that. You can do this alone, but I feel if we do this together, shoulder to shoulder, and again, it's not like a marketing thing to get you into my program. I just want to inspire you to be more seen and to be more felt and to be all of you with everything that you are. And I feel like since this thick wall is lifted, I cannot put it back. And sometimes it's a bit much, like now that I'm crying in front of you. That's maybe not what you're used to or what's appropriate from the books. And for some people, it might be even triggering if you're not used to that. But that's what I was craving when I was growing up, that I can show all of me, that I'm loved the way I am just by being me. And that's the way I lead all of my containers. I want you to come with everything that is alive for you. If you want to celebrate, we're going to celebrate. We're going to play DJ Bobo and we're going to dance. And if you want to cry, you're so welcome as you are with all of your emotions and with everything that happens. If you feel like a failure because no one signed up for your program, then bring that into the space. I really want to create a space where you can expand, but where you can also be held. So the mastermind called Soul Led that I'm creating right now and offering to you at the end of this is about this, that you can step into the woman you came here to be and not procrastinate and not wait and not postpone and not play small and only take one foot out. After or in this container, I want you to fully embrace with your open heart to the mission you came here to be, even if it feels scary, even if it feels overwhelming. I think that was part of the reason I cried, because if this is something that's bigger than you, it can be overwhelming for the human experience. You still have your emotions, you still have doubts, but you don't allow them to get in the way to lead your mission. And I would love to know how this is landing in your body. How do you feel right now receiving these words and looking at your own life with whatever aspect I shared? It can be about receiving help, about fully committing to your path. What is alive in your system right now, in your heart? Gives me a calm feeling, a feeling of trust that I can surrender. Yes, and that's what we as feminine beings, we are longing to surrender. And our stories keep us stuck in a false identity of being in control because it never felt safe to fully trust and to surrender. And that's also something that feminine power represents for me, the trust in the universe, the trust that even if your life is falling apart and you're losing all of your loved ones and you're losing everything you thought you were, and you're in the void and you don't know what's coming out on the other side, to trust in the most painful moments that it will lead you to something that is greater than you could ever imagine. Even if you can't see it yet, if you can't hold it in your hands yet, you know and you trust because you're connected to the divine. And that takes a spiritual practice, and that takes community and people that are on the same mission, because everyone that's living from their minds will tell you you're crazy. How can you quit your job if you don't know what's gonna come? I feel deeply touched and emotional. I definitely have a problem receiving, coming also from my childhood. Right now I feel between calm and super anxious and sad at the same time. And that's all welcome. Everything you said felt so right and made sense. I don't know why, but it just did. Being authentic resonates heavily. Thank you. I'm crying now because I have a similar story and you give me hope and compassion. Thank you, Melina. I totally understand. I hate to ask for help and I'm afraid of getting rejected when I ask. So I do it all by myself. I'm very emotional right now. Yes. Today, 11 years ago, I lost my second baby. And this pain felt as your experience in this moment. I could see and feel why I'm here. Not being a mother, but work with women and mothers. This is beautiful. And we can all turn our biggest pain into our power and into our purpose. And that's true alchemy. We always have the choice. If something happens to us, we can choose to victimize and to stay in this pain and the universe is against us and why is this happening? Or we can reclaim our power by taking full responsibility, by feeling the pain and then seeing that there's beauty in it, that there's gold in it, and that we can help other people. And there's nothing more fulfilling than helping others with your story, with what you've overcome, so they don't have to walk through the same shit as you. So thank you all for sharing that. And I want us to take a moment to drop into our hearts even deeper. So I invite you to just close your eyes. And I want you to use all of your magical, shamanic, feminine tools that you have. So I want you to move your body, to breathe, to make a sound. Circle, you can make a sigh, make a moan, whatever wants to come through you right now. Allow it to be authentic. Release the tension from your jaw, everything you're carrying. Beautiful. And then release the movement and bring your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your womb, your lower belly. Just become aware if there's any tension. And allow yourself to soften, to relax your belly. And see if you can let go a little bit deeper, the tension in your lower belly, in your womb space. Send your breath into your right hand and really soften as you exhale every single muscle in your lower belly. Allow it to be soft. Allow your heart to open, feel the sensation of your own touch. Allow your weight to sink heavily into whatever you're sitting on right now. Take a few deep breaths, starting to breathe into your lower belly, into your right hand, all the way up into your chest, into your heart. Fill your lungs and hold your breath at the top. And sigh it out, release, let it go. We take 2 more deep inhalation into your womb, into your heart. Hold your breath at the top. Feel the abundance of air in your whole system. The subtle pulsation. And let it go. One last breath. Allow it to be the biggest of this whole weekend. Fill your belly, expand your belly, your organs. Breathe all the way into your heart. And let it go. And I want you to feel a layer deeper. Beyond your physical body, beyond your physical sensations. What's alive for you right now in your heart, in your womb? Maybe you can even connect to your soul, your intuition. What is lingering underneath the surface? What is present right now? Relax your jaw, keep your belly soft, and simply feel and invite everything in. Open your heart a little bit more with every inhale. Expand the capacity to feel yourself, the space. Maybe your womb has a message for you. What do you need right now? What feels most nourishing for you after this call that you could do for yourself? And by inviting everything in, by being open to whatever wants to come up, I want you to feel yourself while you ask yourself the question, where am I holding my light back from shining? Where do I allow my story to dim my light? Where am I opening my heart? Just half the way. Where am I still closing, fearful, protective, to avoid something that is ready to be released so your light can shine infinite? We need your light right now. And in which areas can you allow your light to shine a little bit brighter or much more brighter the full capacity that your light has within. Your light can change the world if you allow it to shine. You release the stories that are creating a layer around it. It's like a thick black coat that's covering your light. Maybe some rays can make its way around this coat, but to be able to fully shine, to fully step into the woman you came here to be, to fully devote yourself to your soul's purpose, the reason why you came here to this planet in the first place, before you forgot all about it, before you allowed your conditioning, your pain, your trauma to get in the way. How can you allow that shining light that you had as a baby to come back into your life now, to bring back your aliveness, your radiance, your beauty from within, and to shine it out no matter what, no matter how many people feel uncomfortable because they didn't allow themselves to shine. Be an inspiration of what's possible in this lifetime. Be an inspiration of bravery in a world of duality and density, to choose to shine unconditionally with whatever it takes, to hold all the projections, to face the mirror back to the people that want to dim your light. Where can you allow yourself to be seen a little bit more? Where can you allow yourself to be held a little bit more? Where can you open your heart, maybe for the first time in your whole life, and not allow the pain underneath to stop you, to protect you? It kept you safe in the past, but you're ready to release it. Feel that for a moment. How beautiful it is for yourself and for every single person on this planet if you open your heart, if you become a vessel for divinity, so your light can shine and you can do what you are meant to do in this life. You can lead the mission you came here to lead. You can show a new way of living and relating that we are all so deeply longing, even if we don't admit it. We all long to be vulnerable, to be exactly as we are, to drop the masks, to drop the pretending, to stop the fake smiles and saying everything's fine. We all are craving authenticity. How can you show more of you, the true you, to yourself and your surroundings? But it always starts with you. Where can you be a little bit more honest with yourself? Take another deep inhale into your womb, into your heart. Open your mouth, make a loud sound. Even if it's uncomfortable, unfamiliar, allow yourself to express authentically. And then release the hands and slowly ground yourself back into your body. You can massage your thighs, your hands, your arms to bring yourself back into the space. Whenever you're ready, slowly open your eyes. And I would love to know, how can you embody your feminine power from now on? Maybe a little bit more, maybe a lot more. What came up for you in this meditation? Write it in the chat. Let us all witness so we can keep you accountable when the humanness sneaks back in. When someone wants to throw a thick coat on top of you and we can say, it's not your coat, give it back. It is deeper in a way I cannot describe yet. Beautiful. Sometimes there's no words. If it's bigger than ourselves, there's no words. If I would describe my bufo experience, I will try, but there's no words. If you're connected to source energy, show my vulnerability and emotions no matter what. Yes, Karin, that's really powerful. I know that I can always and anytime express myself without having to feel bad or uncomfortable. Yes. And the right people will appreciate that. It's such a gift. I try my best to find some words. There's so much, but definitely allowing my emotions more and trusting my body even more, especially when she craves rest. Yes, that's a big one for all of us. But the mindfuck tells me, no, you can keep going, just need to get XYZ done. Yes, and it requires us to sit with whatever is lingering underneath that. Because all of us, the feminine craves to be soft and to rest, and we need that to flourish. But if we have the story that we need to prove and to keep going and to always show people that we and ourselves that we achieved something, it will never be enough and it will exhaust us. And if we sit with the story and reprogram that is actually beautiful and safe to rest, everything can change. Be true to myself, no matter what anyone says. Yes, I'm so happy that this might be possible. Oh, there's so much more than we can imagine. Yes, there is. Literally. I mean, I've seen some of these dimensions and this part of the spiritual world in my ceremonies, and there's the world that we see, the 5D world, the 3D world with the physical nature and humanness. It's like this much of what's actually there. There's so many dimensions, there's so many galaxies, there's so many spiritual beings around us, and so much that love can do. That's why opening the heart is the most powerful work we can do in this lifetime. And then we can be open for magic. We can be open to receive miracles. But if we try to control the outcome and always be 1 foot ahead and never rest, then it's no room. We have to create space for magic first. Thank you all for sharing. I really, really love those answers and they're really touching. So I hope that you keep on walking this path and embodying your feminine power from the inside out, because your soul has a big mission. All of you came here to lead a new way of living. Otherwise, you would have left the moment I started crying in the beginning of this class. All of you, every single person, every single woman in this room has a big mission. And if you feel this year you're done waiting, you're done procrastinating, you're done allowing your fear holding you back, if you desire to fully step into that power and to fully step into the woman you came here, you signed up as a soul before incarnating, then I invite you to stay when I share about my soul-led mastermind. If you feel this is complete, you got everything you wanted, then you're also welcome to leave without feeling guilty. This is all about what you need, what you desire. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. If someone's leaving, thank you all for being in the space. I know some of you joined almost every live session, and it really touches my heart that we spend our weekend mornings and evenings together by looking deep and by connecting. So thank you all for walking this path and for being an embodiment and for doing the healing work that is not always beautiful. And I'm gonna share my screen with all of you so I can show you what I've been working on in the back. You're so welcome, Inga. Okay, so excited to share this. The first time I'm officially announcing this offer. So now I don't want the video. Is this okay? Okay, hope it's not moving on its own. So the offer that I've been creating and that has been coming through is my 4-month mastermind called Soul Led. And the name itself, can you all see the screen? Okay. The name itself represents the essence. And this picture too, if you've seen my new podcast branding, it's all about allowing your light and your soul to lead the way instead of your conditioning and your fear and your programming and your everyday life and your humanness and your emotions, to walk this path no matter what. So actually it's almost a 5-month journey, because we start in February and we will have live sessions until beginning of June, but we will meet for a 3-day in-person retreat in July, and you still have the group chat for support and guidance and celebration for the whole month of June. So it's actually a 5-month mastermind, but with 4 months of live sessions. And this is for you if you desire to step into your next level of heart-centered leadership. So if you feel there's more than what you're currently sharing, then, oops, this was not my plan. Then this is the mastermind for you. And I created, this was too fast. I created a promo video that I invite you to just feel into. I don't know if you can hear the sound, because sometimes it just shares the screen, but I added subtitles. So just feel into the video and see how it resonates. Our feminine power has been demonized and taken away from us for way too long. We've been kept small, shamed and outcasted for our body's wisdom and truth for centuries. We adapted and dimmed our light and wisdom for generations. But it stops with us. The time is now to remember your truth and to rise in your feminine power and leadership. It's time to come back in true sisterhood and take back what's always been yours. You came here to lead a mission that will change the world. You're being called to step into your next level of heart-centered leadership and allow your soul to lead no matter what. To show a new way of living that comes with depth, love, and pure intentions. So you can lead what you're meant to lead in this lifetime, without your conditioning holding you back. Welcome to Soul Led, a 4-month mastermind to expand, to be seen, supported, held, and celebrated, while you fully step into your feminine power. This was a really powerful shooting we did in Mexico. And yeah, just take a moment to let that sink in and to feel how these words, how these pictures landed in your system. If you feel you might be ready for this path and for this container. because you came here to lead a mission that will change the world as we know it. You came here to lead a mission that shows what's possible, to show a new way of how we can live our lives, to bring heaven back on earth and not allow our stories to define the way we live our lives, and to allow your heart and soul to show you the way, even if your mind will not always agree, to always come back to your heart and soul and to have a container where we keep each other accountable. And we don't need to do this whole mission alone. We all have big missions, and shoulder to shoulder, like the picture I saw in my ayahuasca ceremony, it's so much easier, and we need each other along the way. So if you desire to be in a room with other visionaries with a big mission, this might be perfectly designed for you. So I'm sharing a few words about this program, because when I look back at my journey as an entrepreneur, as leading a soul business, of sharing my gifts, I started with yoga and meditation and nutrition and Ayurveda. Like many of us, we start with the body, and then the more we heal, the deeper we go. And these transitioning phases can be really intense. I went from yoga to now guiding sacred sensuality rituals with yoni eggs and breast massage. And this was a huge journey to fully embrace that, to really share what has changed my life and to bring it out into the world, because there's colleagues, there's family, there's people that see us, especially if we have an online business. It can be very intense and fearful to step fully into this. I heard this the first time that from my intuition, that I'm here to teach the art of Tantra and energy and all these things. And I was like, no. I was like, this voice is not right. And it kept on coming. And only when I fully embraced it, this is when my business finally blew up. Because before I was struggling with my online retreats, and even I did all the things, I was still not making money because I was holding the essence back of me. I was like playing small and playing safe. That's fine with my cleanse retreats. That's good. I wrote a book about it. You can all clean your body and mind and soul. But sexuality, I thought that's something I want to only offer for me. I thought that's something for me, but then spirit was like, no, you're meant to share this. So if you're in a transitioning phase, or you just left your job and you feel, or you're still in your job, you feel you're here for something bigger, something different wants to come through, but it feels scary, it's gold if you have a container that you can come up, you can share whatever comes up on the way, and you can have a mentor that leads you in the right direction, so you can find your own way of creating your business and leading your life. So this is not only for business, this is for a holistic container for everything, because sometimes it's not something in our business that blocks our abundance. For example, I had a mentor last year in a mastermind that I had a session, and I said, something is not flowing, like something is blocked. And we talked about it, and we realized I was in a place where I was still waiting for people, friendships, female friendships especially, to choose me. And I was waiting for the invitation, and I felt kind of, again, not really lovable. And I felt like, And then we talked about it, and we removed the block by coming back into my power and feeling like, wow, actually, if my presence is not appreciated, I don't even want to be in spaces and wait for someone to choose me. I have to choose me first. And when I took that back without waiting, being okay to be alone for a while and still be in my power, that's when everything went back into alignment. And I had a really good launch, and I found these soul sisters around me. And sometimes it's a block where we can't see it ourselves. I would have never gotten there without her. So sometimes it's good to have someone seeing our blind spots if we are like in a box. And especially we as healers, we are so good at seeing everyone else's blind spots, but when it comes to us, we're like two left hands and we can't see the most simple things. So this mastermind is really a safe container for you to expand, to grow, and to step into the woman that is able to lead the mission that you came here to lead. It's a 4 or 5 month journey to deepen your own embodiment, because the level you can lead other people always comes back to your own level of embodiment. So if you teach something that you're not fully embodied yet, people can feel that. Even if they can't understand it, they can feel that just through your energy. If you speak about something you heard and you just share that, people can feel if it's not embodied, if you haven't been through this. So the deeper you meet yourself, the bigger your level of embodiment grows, and the more you can show up, and the more your impact grows, the more you're able to hold and receive. It all goes hand in hand. The deeper you go, the bigger the space for you to receive and to feel abundant from the inside and to be able to hold it. It all goes hand in hand. And this mastermind will empower you to become an even more powerful healer, mentor, artist, whatever you came here. I also have women that have a successful company, and one woman, she has the desire to use her story and her gifts and her ability to connect people, to create a really beautiful mission for this planet, and to connect the people with money, with the farmers, and to create a coexistence where we can create a new era of living with nature and create food in a way that's sustainable. And you will lean into a new way of leading your business and life. So as I said, this is a holistic mastermind. It's not just about your business, it's also about what's going on in your private life, so they're all in harmony. You will create a new way of showing up in your world for yourself and others, a way that you were longing to grow up in, what I already shared. A new way of heart-centered, empowered leadership. So I invite you to feel into this, if this is you, if this is resonating. You're a path carver, meaning you go first to lead the way into a new way of living and relating. So if you just know, even if you're not living it fully yet, you know you are here to lead a new way. If this is resonating in your soul, the mind doesn't have to understand, then you're in the right place. But you don't want to hold it all together, and you don't want to do this alone, because this shit is exhausting, like I shared. The new way of leading is real, vulnerable, and authentic. And it's true to your unique gifts, which means if you create your soul business, I don't want you to create it the way I did it or the way someone else did it that was successful. I want you to find your way, and I will guide you along the way with everything that comes up. A way of relating and showing up that feels true to your heart and soul without betraying your needs. You can be successful and be completely miserable. There's so many examples. And when I started my business, I was one of them. I was doing everything on my own, burning out almost after leaving my job as a teacher, because I took the same patterns into my soul business until I learned to be soft, until I learned to relax and to pause and to receive help without controlling. Will they do it right? Will they let me down? Without taking all these stories into my business. And really let myself be supported. Really trust that my team has my back. And even if there's a little mistake, that I don't need to be perfect. So if you want to lead and embody truth and to show as an inspiration what's possible, and be in the space with other women that have the same mission, that came here to change the world, then this is the mastermind for you. To radiate your true power and beauty from within, and not to externalize it to numbers and to things you buy and things on the outside, but you radiate it from within, like the light, to shine your light so brightly it ripples a wave of healing and remembrance into this world. And if you desire to be expanded, seen, supported, held, and celebrated while you fully step into your feminine power and leadership, this is your new home. To step into your next level of growth, to share your magic with the world, no matter what. Because that's the thing, we're excited, we feel our mission is big, we go, and then something happens. A big stone comes in our way, we get hurt, we fall onto our knees, and then we're like, I think this is not for me. I'm not I tried it. I don't go any further. And I've had this when I was a school teacher, I knew I needed a plan B, and I opened a yoga studio with my ex-boyfriend because I knew I can't continue being a teacher for the rest of my life. It felt too exhausting. And then when I finally decided to end this relationship, it was a very emotional, abusive relationship. I lost everything I put my heart and soul into. He never paid me. I felt so victimized, so worthless, no self-love. I really found myself on the rock bottom. And I thought to myself and to the universe, I was like, what the fuck? I tried and it's not possible. And then there was a moment where I wanted to give up, where I thought, okay, then I'm going to be a school teacher for the rest of my life. And if I didn't have people that would keep me going, and I didn't have them back then, but I found them along the way, I think I would have stayed a school teacher. We need sometimes people that encourage us and celebrate us and see us and see our gifts if we can't see them in our darkest moments. To lead your life, relationship, and business from your open heart, fully embodying your feminine power that comes from your vulnerability. To open your heart and soul to be in service for what you came here to be and do. To make this world a better place through your embodiment. To shed the layers that prevent you from showing up fully and authentically, to choose your truth and healing over and over. So imagine, to give you a glimpse of what this container can look like. Imagine coming together in sacred sisterhood with powerful visionaries that will activate your divine feminine power even further, so you can show up as the heart-centered leader you came here to be. Letting go of the fear, procrastination, shame, and limitation that is holding you back from showing up fully in your mission. Learning how to stay balanced and nourished in your feminine essence while you change the world. Experiencing pleasure, embodying your divine feminine power and sacred sensuality to show up as a whole new version of yourself. Becoming a master in claiming your desires and receiving support, celebration, and guidance in a safe container with like-minded sisters on the same mission as you, to share your soul's purpose with the world. Because the world needs your magic and light. It's time now. So what's waiting for you? We start in February and we will meet twice a month for our live sessions. One of those live sessions will be, I never set a time because sometimes most of the time we get over, but it's about 2 hours where you receive one-on-one mentorship from me. I won't open any further spaces for the moment. Madeleine, I think you're still here. You have the privilege to be my only one-on-one client this year, or it's at least for now. So this is the only way to work one-on-one with me, but in a group setting, which can be really powerful because from other women's stories, you learn about yourself too. Sometimes it prevents you from doing the same mistakes. Sometimes it prevents you from seeing things in a different angle. And it's really empowering to feel the vulnerability of every single one of us. So one of the sessions is a one-on-one mentoring that you receive every month. And the other session is a healing and embodiment session where we dive into one topic of the month. This can be emotional entanglements. This can be sisterhood wounds, emotional alchemy. I always feel into the group what's present right now from the one-on-one sessions. And then I create a healing and embodiment session. Most of the time I channel them. So I can't tell you exactly the structure and what this day and this minute we're going to be diving into, because if you know me, I'm very intuitive and I go with the energy of the moment. And you also have an unlimited group Voxer chat, always available for support, guidance, celebration, and connections. Meaning, if you have a Friday evening and you just launched your program and nobody signed up and you feel like a failure and you want to just share that and be seen, then this chat is always there for you, night and day, to be seen and to share. And if you have a launch or you get an opportunity and you just want to celebrate, then we're going to celebrate with you. If you want guidance on something and you don't know any further, you feel stuck, then I'm there to support you. I'm always there to catch you if you fall and to push you into the right direction for your next level of growth and leadership. You also get access to all of my online offerings that I offered until now and that I will offer until the retreat starts. Plus, we meet in person for the Feminine Leadership Retreat in Austria, a beautiful hotel, an organic bio hotel in Austria with a sauna in the forest. We have a beautiful spa, we have organic food. It's a beautiful space to really dive even deeper and to connect in person after this intense journey. So if you want more details on that, you find everything on the website. The link will be sent shortly after. And also we have a new journal. If you've been in my Solar Line program, I think I even have it here. My dear sister Julia, she's an artist from Tahiti, and she creates these beautiful journals. So this is me, and she created this art for the Solar Line program, and now she created a new one for my Soul Naked new branding. So you will be this will be sent home to you. And yeah, this is what's included. And I have a special offer for all of you for 48 hours. So you have 2 days for this offer. The regular price will be 4,444 plus retreat will be 999. If you sign up within the next 48 hours, you only pay 3,444, including the retreat, which means everything is covered. Yeah, that was it from my side. Thank you so much for joining. How do I get back to this? Yeah, now we're back. So thank you all for being in the space, for staying, for listening. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will send the link out for the mastermind in a few minutes. So you can read through it again, you can watch the replay again. And if you apply, I really want to hear about your mission, about, you don't even have to know what exactly you want to create, but why you would like to be joined of this part of this container. We have 2 women inside already, and there's maximum 11 spots for this group. So thank you so much, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Night. It's already night in Germany, right? You're so welcome. Much love. Bye bye.